This is a live stream of it's a live coding tutorial in Crayta. So my name's Andy, and I've been playing around in Crayta since November. I've been writing the tutorials, and I'm currently making some video guides for it. And I'm super pumped to be delivering like a lesson on coding in Crayta. So I trained as a teacher, and I'm also a game developer. So it's kind of like a mixture of those things. I teach in the local university, that sort of stuff. But this is a first for me, like teaching live in this environment. So there's going to be some figuring out that goes on, and I just want to say hello to everyone. So hi team. Can we have a quick whiz round? And you don't have to, but anyone that wants to, just say your handle and whereabouts in the world you're from, because I think there's people from all over the world in here. So my name is Andy. I'm also known as Super Goose, and I'm from Southwest UK. So I live and work in Plymouth, and I'm really excited about being in Crayta. So let's get some gaming on the go. Nice to meet you, Raven Anime. Hi, Whisper. Hi, Painkiller. From UK. Sorry? Cool. Okay, so we've got some people. First thing, this is a blank canvas. So I was thinking maybe we could dress it up a little bit just to start with. So grab an area of the map and then let's just dress an area. So I'm going to go into the advanced editor, and this is also great for people who maybe haven't done this before. So there's some people who haven't yet played around in Crayta. So you can go into the advanced editor by hitting tab on the keyboard, and that will open the advanced mode. In here, you'll see on the left-hand side, there's a voxel menu. So what you can do is grab some voxels and paint around where you are. So for example, I'm this character and I'm currently placing a load of metal. I'm making some kind of weird metal sculpture. I'm actually behind that sculpture now. Here I am. This is going to be my little podium where I can stand up here. So make your own little area of the map, and that's one of the beautiful things about Crayta. I thought we could make this map our own. So just gonna maybe add some grass. There we go. And if you are in the advanced editor, you can click on the left where it says voxels. You can click on that and you can open up this drop-down menu, and you can select different parts of that menu. So for example, there's a whole bunch of meshes in there as well. If you click on meshes, and these are pre-made 3D assets. So you can also make grab some of those. I'm going to stick a nice big dinosaur head on my sculpture there. Okay. Oh, I love the neon. This is beautiful over here. Beautiful neon sculpture pointing to the sky. Fantastic. Cool. Great stuff. So yeah, you can add some meshes. So you're kind of creating like your own little space, almost like a really, really abstract garden. Sorry. What sort of size? Yeah. So there's different sizes of the meshes. Absolutely, yeah. And so they have to stay at the same size at the moment. But there is an opportunity to ask for. There's loads of dinosaur heads. just appeared. So you can use the we've got an area where you can ask for features and things like that. So being able to resize them might be something you wanted to want to ask us to do. But at the moment, all of the meshes are kind of sized in a relative way. So they kind of make sense in the world that you're in. So for example, this cactus over here that I'm looking at on my screen, that is, generally the size of a cactus corresponding to a human. So at the moment, all of the meshes are kind of like the size that they are. Cool. How's everyone finding? Sorry. How's everyone finding the editor so far? Are you quite comfortable? Cool. Okay, that's good. That's a good thing. Right. So I love all the arcade cabinets just appearing. So this is a really beautiful world we've made here, people, already. This is great. Okay. So what I really wanted to one other thing I want to talk to you today about is the scripting side of things, right? So we're kind of all here for a bit of a play around and a bit of a tutorial in making stuff in Crayta, and as part of that, one of the most amazing parts of this game is that there's an entire scripting engine built in, which uses Lua, which is a lot easier to program in than C++. So it's a lower barrier to entry, which means you can spend more time making and less time looking up how to do things, which is really cool. What I'm going to do is I'm going to talk through a bit of a process and demonstrate what it does, and then you're all going to have a go at doing it as well, and then we're going to sort of see if we can make something incredible all together by the end of it. Does that sound good? Okay, great. So if you come over to the metal statue with the dragon head on top of it. I know there's a lot of dragon skeleton heads. I'm the guy in blue. I'm the guy with yellow hair. Hello. There's a face palm. Okay, so we're gonna be looking at it when you might be sending your drone over to me instead, but when you get a chance, head on over here. Nice to see you all. So you can send your drone instead. That's totally cool. What I'm going to do is we're going to play around with some physics, right? So there's a whole physics engine underneath all of this, and we're going to make it so that we can use kind of leverage that. So in my advanced editor, I'm just going to draw a little square on the floor that is going to be sort of my launch pad, I guess you could call it. There are launch pad meshes. I'm just going to use just a voxel to draw a launch pad. Let's make a disco launch pad. There we go. So place this on the floor. Drag it out a bit. Cool. So there's now like a little dance floor. On that dance floor, I'm going to click in the library and I'm going to click on primitives. So rather than where it says voxels and meshes and those sorts of things, I'm going to click on primitives and I'm going to click trigger and I'm going to add a trigger to that. Okay, so you can see now that there's a disco dance floor and a trigger on the dance floor. Just going to move that trigger up so that it's right on top of it. And within the trigger, if you click on the trigger in the right hand side, you'll see there's trigger 1. In fact, you can actually filter using the filter. If you just type in trigger within the filter, you should be able to see there's something called trigger 1. Are you all following along? Give me a shout. Just stop me if you're having a hard time finding it. Cool. So within trigger, you'll see there's a bunch of properties in there. So underneath where there's the sort of the hierarchy menu on the top right corner, the bottom right corner shows what's called an entity editor. So in here is a whole bunch of properties that exist within the trigger. So someone's following along, which is totally cool. If you want to do that, that's totally fine. Within this trigger one, I'm going to change the size. So there's 3 numbers here, 100, 100, 100. So I'm going to change that to be 200 by 200. And you'll see by changing the numbers in the first 2 boxes that, well, the first box does one direction and then the second box does another direction. So we've now got a dance floor, and on top of the dance floor is a trigger. The trigger is completely invisible when we run the game, so you won't see that, but it exists and it's there and it's behind the scenes. And we can prove that by previewing the game. So I'm just going to preview the game, and this will put us all in the game. This is by pressing F5. In fact, does someone else want to preview the game? If you press F5, anyone can do this. There we go. So you should, oh, everyone did it once. So we went in and out. All right, I'll just do it once. Okay, so we're heading into the game. So this is previewing the game. So now the game is live. So any scripts that we've written will be running, will be fully running now while the game is live. There's a trigger. You can't see the trigger when it's live. So the trigger is sort of behind the scenes and it's hidden. But it's still there and we can still use it. So this is the live game. So to get back out from the live game, we can press F5 again. And now we're back in the editor. So there's this kind of cycle where you place a thing and then you test the game, and then you can modify it. You go back and forward between testing it and modifying it. Sweet. Hopefully that makes sense with everyone. So back to my trigger 1 here. So clicking on that, I've got that selected. Oh, someone's moving. I'm gonna with that trigger selected, in the properties menu or the entity editor menu on the right hand side, in the advanced menu I'm going to click entity, add script, new script, and I'm going to call my script, let's see, I'm going to call it launch SuperGoose. So SuperGoose is my handle. While we're all working in the same environment together, I think it would be a really good idea if everyone has their name somewhere in their script, so we don't get confused with each other's scripts. So my script is called launch SuperGoose, and I'm going to go into the scripting editor by scrolling down in the entity editor while up with my trigger selected and clicking next to script name where it says launch SuperGoose and it says edit this asset. So if you all want to join me within the script launch SuperGoose, cool. Got Kobold, got Whisper. Hey there. Someone's already coding. Already in there. Yeah, that's really similar. Also things like, I've used like Cloud9 and stuff like that before, where it's kind of an online IDE. I don't know if anyone's used something like that. Okay, cool. So if in the game, if you select on trigger 1, yeah, cool. So is everyone in launch SuperGoose? You're on trigger 1. So if you scroll to the bottom of the menu on the right hand side, you'll see there's something that says script launch SuperGoose, and then next to the script name there's like a little pencil icon. Got that? Yeah, edit this asset. So I think everyone's in here. Cool. Yeah, so maybe that's a good idea actually. So one thing we can do, you'll see there's like a bunch of different colors and lots of different scripty stuff going on here. So if you want, you can just type in here. If you put two dashes, this makes what's called a comment, which is sort of a piece of script that is never run. It's kind of ignored by the game itself, and it's really just for us developers to talk to each other. It's really useful for like commenting, describing what's going on in the code and documenting it and stuff like that. So I've just typed a little comment, and you'll see that comments are always colored green. So the colors are kind of relevant. So comments are green. Then you'll see that there's some yellow words. And the yellow words are keywords within Lua. So Lua knows what these words are, or Crayta knows what these yellow words are. So we can we generally use those sorts of words are ones that are going to perform actions within the code. And then there's these grey ones, and these grey ones still mean something, but Crayta doesn't necessarily know what they are. They just are. They're kind of, that's the code that we're going to write. That's the stuff that we're going to get involved with. Lunch. I've already had lunch. Okay, so within this script, it's not actually doing anything yet. This is a completely blank template. There's nothing going on. And what I want to do is, this script is on a trigger. So what I'm thinking is, let's just alert ourselves when someone enters the trigger. So I'm going to type function, launch supergoose, which is the name of the script. And then I'm going to write on trigger enter. Okay. And as I do that, it actually comes up with some possible options while I'm doing it. So I've got this on trigger enter script here. Can you all see that? Oh, okay, sure. So what, me saying things isn't coming through? Okay. All right, give me 1 second. Okay, this one, is it working now?
I don't know, maybe.
We can test it.
Hello?
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 I guess there's a slight delay between us saying things.
There's a huge delay.
Yeah. I think I could hear me.
Yeah? Is anyone watching the live stream at the same time?
Yes, I'm watching.
Sorry. I was going to say that YouTube chat is confirming that it's working.
Nice.
Perfect.
Sweet. Okay, that's great. Good to hear, everyone. Hello, and yes, you can now hear the other chat going on. So, yeah, basically a quick recap. We are in this script here, and I've just written this on trigger enter function. So the cool thing about this specific function is that whenever anyone enters this trigger, this piece of code will be run. So we can see the effect of that if I just do a print statement, which will output to our console. Hello, someone is in the trigger. Right? So we've got this print statement in here. Pint. Thanks, Kobold. Okay, that is that's the beauty of collaborative coding right there. So thanks, Kobold. So right now I've written this function. It says on trigger enter, and when someone goes in the trigger, it's going to say hello, someone is in the trigger. So let's test that out. So I'm going to press F5. So now I'm okay. So if you want to press O on your keyboard, you'll see there's a console that comes up.
Yeah.
And now
Console.
Yeah, cool. So
Yeah,
now we can talk to
that's
ourselves from our code. This is really handy when you want to see like what's going on in your code. It's quite effective to just write print statements and make sure that everything is working as it should. We can use these print statements to also output like values. So I'm going to go back into the code editor now. So if you want to join me back in the troubleshooting script. The cool thing about this function on trigger enter is we can also put in other, which is now whatever has just entered that trigger. So if that's a mesh, that other will refer to a mesh. If that's a player, that other will refer to a player. And we can actually do other get name, right? Which will mean if a player has entered, it will go and get the name. If something else has entered that doesn't work with get name, we'll get an error, but that's totally fine. Errors are part of coding. Cool, so let's just run that and you should be able to see the console. We've got a sweet error. Oh, you can't do arithmetic. This is where, so this is a thing in Lua where you need to use ... So back in this script, it's not plus, it's ... Okay, back in the game. Now you should be able to see. There you go. We're all called trigger player dynamics.
There you go. Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. So by entering a trigger, we can get hold of what has entered the trigger. Heading back into the editor. One more thing we're going to do is we can actually, using physics, we can muck around with what happens to that thing. So underneath that line of code, I'm going to write other, and then I'm going to write, does anyone know? Thanks, Cobalt. So does anyone know my body is though? Okay. Audio input capture. Is that better? No? Still quiet? How about now? Is that better?
I think it was on the stream, it was a little low. It's fine for us.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds good for us. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So there's a bit of a delay. So hopefully that will come through on the stream that it's now rectified. It could also be that I need to do this. Let's do that as well. There we go. Both microphones on the go. Sorted. Okay, cool. Thanks, Nat. Great. So yes, we were in the middle of gonna launch some people. So we can actually use the launch function for this. I feel like something's happened to our function.
That was input lag.
Okay, let's just put that back in. Other. Cool. You'll see that there's some live error highlighting as well. So yeah, so there's a red line surrounding the end statement because it's expecting me to finish off what I had started coding earlier. So we can do other and then launch, and then we can give it a vector. And I'm going to talk about what vectors are in just a second and put that number in there. Okay, so this is like when you get into physics coding, it can get a little bit confusing, but hopefully you'll see that now when you walk on a trigger, it should fire you into the air.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Okay, so going back into the code, just want to talk through what's happening here. So we're getting hold of the whatever other is, and we're launching it. Oh, if we can just hold off going in and out for a second, I'm just explaining. We're launching it, and we're using a vector. And what this is doing is it's saying launch the player in the direction 0, 0, with now to 2 million. Okay. So like we're applying newtons, like so force with forces. We're applying forces to people, and the first number is the x direction. The second number is the y direction, and the third number is the z direction. So x is sort of left and right, y is forwards and backwards, and then z is up and down. So by changing it, you should see there's a slight difference now to the direction that we're going.
Could end badly.
I don't know whether this is. I don't know whether it's updated. So one thing it's worth noticing is that if you don't save the script before you enter you don't save the script. So before anyone goes back into the game, just notice that when you type anything in here, you'll see that a little star appears next to the name of the script, which means that it's not yet saved. If you look at the very top in the tab.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, and then by saving it, the star disappears. So you can use that to figure out whether something is saved or not. So you can get rid of your console by pressing O, and then you can use that script to jump around.
I think we broke the game.
Yeah.
Quite possibly.
Directly to Nirvana.
Okay, so well, I just think that we all ended up in space where there was absolutely nothing. So returning this to like a reasonable 2000. What I want you to do is now to go and make your own platform. So using the voxel tools or use meshes or whatever you like, and then you're going to be able to add this script to your platform, so you can actually copy this script and paste it onto your platform. Before we do that, one thing I should ask you to do, so that we stop all going in and out whenever anyone wants to test it, is we go back to the game. If you click on the settings menu, the very top right, the cog.
Yep.
And then you click on preview in new server. Okay, what that's going to do is that means that when you now press F5 or when you press the preview button, it will just be for you. So you can try out your own code without everyone ending up in that server. So if I press it now, you should all still be within the game.
Yep.
Apart from you, who is in my server. So you're able to, so you guys are still able to work on it, and I can go and test my code. Cool. So I'm going back into the game now, and what I'd really like you to do is I'd love you to make your own platform somewhere in this world, in our crazy garden full of surprises, our hideous garden of surprises or our beautiful garden of surprises, depending on whether you're inside a dinosaur head or not, and make your platform, and then use my script using the techniques we've just talked about. See if you can get something working where you've got a trigger on that platform, and then on that trigger you've got a script, and in that script it says on trigger enter, launch the player into the sky. And let me know how you get on with that. So hopefully you're all doing something along those lines. Checking the live stream. Wait. checking the live stream. Cool, how we doing? Is anyone stuck?
Yeah.
Okay, who said that?
Man, I'm trying to get the. Okay. Alright, so.
Can't get the script to close.
Yeah, that's what problem I was having.
Okay, it looks like the script has been completely
Erased
removed.
too. Yeah, that too.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete it and re-add it.
Okay, there we go. If I put this down, slow.
So, where do I find the trigger again?
The trigger.
Like, to add a trigger?
Primitive.
It's in primitives on the
Primitives.
left-hand side,
That's
yeah.
it. Thanks.
So I'm just going to name my trigger Super Goose Trigger so that it's separate from everyone else's, and just rewriting this bit of code.
There we go, I got it off script.
Nice. Is it working?
I just got out of the first script, so.
I think I missed a bracket.
Sometimes that happens. So in scripting and coding, syntax is really important. So what happens is if there's any small like bracket missing or word out of place, then the computer really struggles to figure out what you meant by that piece of code. And so it might not work. In fact, it might fail completely. Usually, if you open the console menu while you're doing that, you should be able to see what the error was. So by pressing O, you can open the console, and then you can see if there were any errors. And the good thing about using your name for your script is that you can actually see at the start of the error, it says what script was having a problem. So a really important part of scripting and debugging and coding is the debugging part of it. So launch Bjork, your script, for example, is saying invalid result returned from script. So that's one aspect of like what you're doing. You can see any issues that are going on down in the code there. Yeah. So I was in the middle of just testing this. So mine is. I'm going to change my. I think I'm going to change my voxels to be the fancy 70s carpet. So that I can tell which one mine is. And just double check that it's working. Hey. Yeah, cool. So, while you guys are writing your scripts, I'm going to set up a little challenge for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new voxel mesh, and I'm going to call it target. And I'm going to position it just here. And then I am going to use this.
Is it important how to name the variable inside onTriggerEnter?
No, the name of the variable itself. So I use the word other, but that's actually a really good point. Yeah, I use the word other, but I use that because it could be anything. but you can call it literally whatever you like. So, in fact, a better thing to can someone think of a better thing to call it than other? So the thing that's
I just named it thing, but
you
it
could
doesn't work.
You could so make sure that if it's called other, it's called other on the line underneath as well. Which script is your one?
Cobalt.
Okay. Heading in. So thing. Do you need to save it?
I think so. Maybe not.
A better thing to call it even than other or thing might be thing that entered trigger. Oh, someone's about to copy what I was editing, so hopefully that doesn't break for you. So thing that entered trigger. Okay, so yeah, so you can call it something more descriptive than what I called it, which would make you a better programmer than me.
Can other broken scripts break the whole thing?
Interesting question. No. They will break that script in particular, but the rest of the game should be running absolutely okay. It depends really. If your script is affecting like a global thing, like the game world, then it could affect everyone else's script. Yeah, thinking about it. So there is an element of care that goes with it when you're collaborating and scripting all together. But the good thing about scripting all together is you can kind of can help each other out when there are those kind of issues. You can get someone who's a little bit more knowledgeable, either with Lua or with Crayta, the Crayta API, to help out. So you may see that above the world, I've positioned a target. And what I'd like you to do is with your beautiful launch pads that you've created and are cultivating around this this farmyard of surprises, I'd like you to try and use your script in order to get onto the target, which is now floating above the world. You think that's possible?
End.
There it is. Cool. Yeah, can you see the target at the top?
Yep.
Yeah, if you try and so using the vector, those numbers that we saw in that script, what I'd really like you to do is to change those numbers that we had in those scripts. So in my launch superglue script, it was 002000. So the vector is essentially, what that's doing is it creates a direction, and it's a direction in 3 different dimensions. You've got X, Y, and Z. So in the game, you can see X, Y, and Z in action if you add any mesh to the game. So I'm just going to add this archery target here. And then if you click on it, you can see there are 3 handles that come out. So there's a red handle, which is your X direction, a green handle, which is your Y direction, and a blue handle, which is your Z direction. Okay. So with these, this is how we tell which direction something's going in, or where it's positioned in 3D space. When we're talking about launching using these vectors, the X, Y, and Z are how strong that launch is. So at the moment, mine is 002000. So it's moving 0 on the X-axis, 0 on the Y-axis, and then 2000 on the Z-axis. So 0 in that direction, 0 in that direction, and 2000 in that direction. In order to make my trigger, it possible to walk onto my trigger and end up on the target, which is over there, I'm going to need to figure out what direction that is and then use the numbers to figure that out. So mine is quite far away from that on the x-axis. So the first number is x, so I would make that 2000. Let's try it. So I'm just going to give that a whirl. Good one. Hey. Okay, not quite. Oh, someone's managed to get up there already. Fantastic. What's that?
I thought I was on my own server, but if you're on mine, it's me.
I think that we when we go into the try it on new server, that is separate from what we're editing on, but everyone goes to the same one.
Yeah, mine's not perfect yet. You gotta be facing the target.
Yeah, I think mine's the same. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes mine is higher than other times, and I think that's to do with how fast I'm running. I'm going to try some of these other ones, see how close they are. That one doesn't have one yet. This one over here. This is the holographic neon one. Yeah, okay.
Could you look at my script again? I think it isn't working.
Yeah, mine favor.
Okay, whose scripts are we talking about?
It's Cobalt.
Raven Anime.
And Raven Animes. All right, let's take a look. So, just finding them. Where's your one, Raven Anime?
I thought I did it right, but I don't. Maybe I didn't do it the right way. I was trying to copy it, and I don't know if I put it in the right spot.
Okay. So you've got thing launch vector dot new. Okay. Yeah.
Is it a different?
Let's
let's
just try that. That should work, right? So it says entered. I'm going to give it a whirl. Oh, I didn't know which one yours is, Kobold. Okay, so one thing we might want to try is if I can find Kobold's trigger. Kobold, can you name your trigger Kobold?
Yes, sure.
And then I'll be able to see which one it is.
Done it.
Whisper trigger. That one. Okay, cool. I found it. So yours is okay. So yours is that one. Interesting. I've been jumping on that one and it's not worked yet. So let's just take a look. So it's next to mine. It's the disco one. I'm gonna have a little whirl. See what I can do. So it's not working at the moment. Maybe if I press F7 to reload. It should say entered as well. Okay. I'm going to try something. So let's just change it to, instead of previewing on a new server, we're just going to all preview at the same time. And I'm just going to see whether it works when that happens, okay?
Oh, it works. Wow.
What was the problem?
I don't know.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I got my numbers wrong. Bye, world. Bye. Whoops.
Who else was having an issue with their script?
I am.
Okay, is that Raven Anime?
Yeah. Yes.
Have you created a script?
Yeah. So,
What was it called?
well, I copied and pasted your script,
Oh, okay.
but I don't know if I did it in the right way or not.
Okay. So, you're close, but I think, is yours the one with the space in it? So it says launch space Super Goose?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's one thing I probably should have made quite clear is when we're coding, we need to, so like, you see how mine is all one word? By having a space in it, Lua then thinks they're two different things. So what we need to do for you, Raven Anime, is make you a new script, but it should be all one word, and it will be launch Raven Anime.
All right.
So, which trigger's yours?
So, my trigger.
Yeah.
That's over here. Oh. Right here.
Okay, cool.
Let's run now.
So, is there a trigger on top?
Yeah, should be. Yeah.
I see. Okay, so yeah. So if we do trigger, put that trigger there.
That's a lot bigger.
Yeah. So we're going to put a nice big trigger here. Just going to increase its size. Okay. So whenever anyone enters this quite large trigger, we want your script to run. So if you add your script to this trigger by clicking Entity, Add Script, and then you should see you could do Entity, Add Script, and then New Script, and then add it in there.
Alright, so Entity, and then just go to my tree.
So if you wanted to, you could use the same script as me, just by adding my script as well, if you wanted to. So if you go Entity, Add Script, and then launch.
I'm still trying to find it on here.
Okay. So do you see on the right where you've got the hierarchy, the list of all the objects on the right?
C is rolled, and then I got the library. Okay, on the left.
And then within there, there's just underneath that list on the right, there's a thing that says Entity and the thing that says Template.
I see filter and rolled.
Oh, okay. Are you at the top?
Mm-hmm.
So the second menu on that right-hand side, in the bottom right corner.
Mm-hmm.
So if we click at the top of that second menu on the right-hand side, and then we're going to click on Entity, and then Add Script. And you can actually do this in the basic mode as well. If you look at it and press E, and add to entity in there as well in the basic mode.
I don't even see it on here at all.
Okay. Well, I've added it for you.
Okay.
So it's got Launch Super Goose on it now. So you should be able to try it out and let me know if it works.
Alright. So
I think we're almost there. Is anyone else having any issues?
Yeah, I am.
Whereabouts are you?
I'm Whisper Trigger.
Whisper Trigger. Okay. Whisper. Heading into your script. Okay. We're really close. We're just missing an end bracket there from the properties, and then we've got an extra end which we don't need there. Trigger enter. Thing that enter trigger. Brilliant. Thing that enter trigger. Launch. And then one more bracket there, and then we're done. And then that's your script. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
All right, no worries. It was just like you were so close. It was just a couple of really small brackets missing here and there, and coding can be a bit finicky like that. But yeah, I think that you were so close. It was good. Okay, so we're coming towards the end. So I'm just gonna. I think we should all try this together and see whether we can get onto that platform using some of the triggers that we've seen. How does that sound?
Okay.
sounds good.
Cool. So let's. I'm going to preview all together, all on the same server. Okay. Someone's pressing F5. If you leave me to do that bit. Cool. So there was my original one. What? Someone's changed my code. I just shot into space. We're trying to get on the target using some of the random triggers that are around.
Bye. Sorry, whoever just used my trigger there.
What? Who's the holographic one?
Hey.
That was good.
I don't even know where I am.
Oh.
I didn't even know I could go that high. Okay, cool. I think we've made a really beautiful world here, full of objects that kind of shoot you into space. And it's a bit of a random guess which one is going to get you onto the target, which is, it's pretty good fun. Hopefully you've got something from today. Hopefully you've gathered a bit of scripting knowledge. We've looked at how to add some physics to the world. It would be great if there's anyone who's got any feedback on how that went, which bits were hard, which bits were easy. Please let me know. And yeah, did everyone manage to get on the target at some point?
Nope.
Okay. So
No.
so I'm gonna leave this. I'll leave this world open, and you're welcome to keep playing around and see if you can get on that target. Remember, you can use the new server so that you don't affect anyone else that's editing the game. And yeah, try and get on that target. I mean, an easy way to get on that target might be to just build a brick staircase. But let's try and do it using physics. And yeah, there's also I'm just going to point you in the direction also of our guides that we've got. So we've got this Crayta area. I'm just going to see if that's showing up on the stream. Yeah, cool. So there's all these docs. So there's tutorials which I've written, which tell you how to do some of the stuff that we've done today, but also other programming things. And there's one where you can make a football game and that kind of stuff. There's also these API docs, and the API docs are really useful for looking into the coding side of things if you're writing code yourself. So anyone that's coming from a bit of a codey background and has got some scripting experience might want to have a look at the API docs to see some of the stuff you can do. And then if you get stuck, there's the Discord, which we're really active on. There's plenty of developers over there helping each other out. I'm on there as well. And there's also the forum if you hit any snags or get really stuck or find any bugs or anything like that. Hopefully you've enjoyed this live stream today. And I look forward to seeing you in Crayta.